Ben Martino, Survival Concepts, Gardner, Massachusetts. Well, it's the beginning of January, and last night in our area and the surrounding towns, it got down to 18 below zero. You would expect that in January, but we haven't had below zero weather like that in a long time. So what I thought I would do would be I would pass this little tidbit on to you just for your information. When the weather gets to be below zero, you want to keep your pipes from freezing. And a good way of doing that is to go around to each one of your faucets and open it up just a little bit, just enough to where you can get a steady little drip. Doesn't have to be a stream of water coming down, but just a little drip that will keep the water in the pipes moving. And by doing that, it'll keep your pipes from freezing. So that's just a little tidbit that I wanted to pass on. Alright, so the reason for this video today is that in my book we talked about records, all your important records, and how to keep them and safeguard them if you're going to be evacuating, what you should do, and things like that. Well, I'm not going to go through everything that was in the book because you can just buy the book and read it, and we don't have to discuss it all over again. But there are some new things that have come up, some new thoughts, and that aren't in the book, and I thought that I would pass these new thoughts on to you. And then what you could do is, between the new thoughts and between what we had in the book, you can decide what would be best for you, and you can take it from there. So, what we're going to be talking about today is we're going to be talking about all your different important records. Okay, now, I know what I think is important to me, but I don't know what you think is important to you. So everyone has their own idea of what their important records are. Okay, but I'm talking, just to give you an idea, I'm talking about birth certificates, death certificates, driver's license, passports, medical records, loans, mortgage papers, maybe even some photos, and all types of things of that nature. Things that are irreplaceable in a lot of ways. And the other thing is that if there is a disaster, you have to evacuate. There's a tornado, there's a hurricane, your house was completely demolished, you've lost everything that's in there. If you did evacuate, you may never be able to come back to the house because of whatever reason. So you're in a situation where all your records are gone now. And with the way the bureaucratic system works is you have to have paperwork. If you don't have paperwork, you can't get any relief, you can't get anything done. So in most cases, it's going to be too cumbersome to carry a strong box or all of these big records with you if you have to evacuate. So I've come up with a new idea and a new plan. And what you're going to need is you're going to need a computer and a scanner. You can also use a laptop computer that you can hook a scanner up to. But if you're using one of these phones or other small little devices to get on the internet and do your internet things that way, you won't be able to hook a scanner up and you won't be able to do it. But you can go to ask a friend or a relative who has a laptop or a desktop to help you with this project. And if worse comes to worse, you can always go to a public library where they have desktops, and you can use their desktop and their scanner. So you can get your project done. In many cases, depending on how many records you have, and once I started, I found I had a lot of records. It could, be a big project. So it may take you more than one sitting to do this, and that's okay. Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to take your important papers, your license, your birth certificates, your passports, and all of these things, and you're going to scan them into a file on the computer. Now, on the computer, you make a file, and you can just call it records. If you want to be a little more organized, you can put Ben's records, Carol's records, Harry's records, Billy's records. You can have them for all of the different members of your family that you're going to be taking the records and keeping them. That's another way of doing it. It doesn't matter. It would be easier later on when you're looking for Sally's records to be able to go to a file that says Sally's records and go into that file and find what you want. So that's another thought, okay? I didn't do it that way. Stupid me. I just put records. And I put everybody's records into one file. So when I go into my file, I have to search through all of these records to find the records that I want. And that's why I mentioned that. If you made separate files and labeled them properly and put a little more thought to it, it would work a little better for you and you'd be a little more organized than I am. But that's just the way things happen. Once you get these records into the computer and into a file, what you're going to do is you could do one of two things. You could download all of the records file onto a CD. The problem with that is that CDs are a lot bulkier than flash drives. They can break, they can get lost, they can get scratched. Okay, so if you have no other alternative, you can put them on a CD, and that's better than carrying a whole big bunch of records around with you. But I prefer to use what they call a flash drive. Now this right here is a 4 gigabyte flash drive. It plugs right into the USB port, and it's like a CD. It's like another big place to store files. This was only like $8, $7 or $8. It wasn't a lot of money. But they also make them in 16 gigabytes and 32 gigabytes and 18 gigabytes, and so I mean this is a 4 gigabyte one, and this one here is a 16 gigabyte one, and you can see that they're not all that big. It's very easy to take them and slip them in a pocket or put them in a pocketbook or any number of places. Okay. Once you get them in there, you can take them out of the computer, and then you can delete the file that is on the computer, because everything now is saved on the flash drive. So you don't need that file in the computer anymore. So if you're not using your own computer, if you're using a public library computer or a friend or a relative's computer, you don't have to worry about, now all my records are on their computer. You just simply delete that file from the computer. It's gone, and it's all saved on your flash drive. Okay? And by doing that, when you have to evacuate, or there's going to be a big storm and a tornado's coming or something like that, just as a precaution, you can take that flash drive and stick it in your pocket or your pocketbook or wherever it's going to be safe, but you can carry it on your person. This way here, if things do go bad and now you have to go and file for relief and help and things like that, and you need records, you can go to any computer, including that agency's computer, and you can plug it in to their USB port and bring up any file you want. You can print the file, whatever you have to do. So that's just, you know, a little thing about how you can safeguard your records in another way other than the way that we talked about in the book. The other thing is that flash drives aren't that expensive, and like I say, they're a lot better than a CD. So once you get all your records onto a flash drive and you have that project done, you might want to think about some other projects, like photos, family photos that can't be replaced. Okay, they could get lost in a disaster. But if you scan them in, you can always go and you can always buy another flash drive, and you can put a little piece of tape on there and label them family photos. You can have many different flash drives. I have about 6 in this little container right here, and they're all marked different things. Some are family stuff, some is martial arts stuff, some is survival stuff. They're all different. But even with a half a dozen of these in here, all of these will fit in one pocket. So if I had to evacuate the house, I just take these and slip them in a pocket, and I'm ready to go. And I have all my important photos and papers and everything else that I think I want to, you know, have already saved and ready to go, and I don't have to worry about them. So it's just another little idea, and I thought I would pass that along because it's not in the book. But you can take this information along with the information that is in the book, and you can decide what's best for you. Which idea do you like better? You might want to do a little of one and a little of the other and combine them or whatever, but that's up to you. So from time to time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make more videos on things that were not covered in the book, and I will pass these videos on to you. I thank you for watching. I hope you will subscribe to my channel, and I hope you'll tell your friends about my channel. The other thing is that in the comment section, you will also see a link to my book, so that those of you who haven't had a chance to look at the book will be able to do that. And remember, when you go to the website where the book is being sold, you can click on the book and you can read the first 15 pages with no obligation whatsoever and decide if it's something that you'd be interested in. And the book only costs like about $8. It's over 70 pages, and it's a lot of good information that you can't find anywhere. So my name is Ben Martino. I'm with Survival Concepts from Gardner, Mass. I thank you for watching my video, and I'll see you on the next one.